You're listening to Vaquero News, the Valley Student Station.
Good afternoon, Vaqueros. Today is Monday, April 11th. It is currently 1:47 p.m. and the weather is sunny right outside our Edinburgh studio. We're coming to you live. I'm your anchor, Rodolfo Alvarado.
And I am Amira Garcia.
And this is Vaquero News. On top of our newscast, the Biden administration will implement 2 additional actions in order to reduce gun violence, according to a White House statement. The first action includes subjecting firearms with split receivers to regulations requiring serial numbers and background checks when purchased from licensed dealers. The second will be requiring federally licensed arm dealers to obtain key records until they shut down their business or licensed activity, where they will then send these records to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
The Biden administration also made an announcement last week about pausing federal student loan payments once again. Here's Rodolfo Alvarado with more.
Today I'm announcing my administration extending the pause on federal student loan repayments through August 31st of 2022.
That was the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden, when he announced the 6th extension for federal student loan payments last Wednesday from the White House. Biden explained that despite coming a long way in the past year, people are still recovering from the economic crisis COVID has caused.
This continued pause will help Americans breathe a little easier as we recover and rebuild from the pandemic.
According to studentaid.gov, eligible loans are already paused. The complete list of eligible loans for the pause on studentaid.gov include direct loans, defaulted and non-defaulted, Federal Family Education Loan or the FFEL program Perkins loans held by the U.S. Department of Education, defaulted and non-defaulted, Federal Perkins loans held by the Department of Education, defaulted and non-defaulted, defaulted FFEL program loans not held by the Department of Education, and defaulted HEAL loans. Professor and chair of the Department of Political Science at UTRGV, Clyde Barrow spoke to Vaquero Radio on how this may positively affected the U.S. economy.
This gives people some additional free cash to pay their living expenses during a period of considerable economic hardship. So it's a way of really putting money into ordinary people's pockets.
Marketing junior Nadia Trevino, who has taken on student loans herself, says even though the pause has extended before she has to repay them, they are still important.
But I still think that it's important, even if it doesn't help me, because I know other people are still struggling to pay their repayments. Just because it doesn't help me personally right now doesn't mean I don't think that it's a good thing to do.
This is Rodolfo Alvarado for Vaquero Radio. With the unprovoked Ukrainian conflict with Russia entering the 7th week, Vaquero Radio asked UTRGV professors about why it happened and how the effects are being felt around the world. Here's Felix Balderas with more.
Russian invasion of Ukraine began on the morning of February 24th. The invasion has caused displacement and much violence has been placed upon Ukrainians, causing immense casualties. The start of the conflict in Ukraine was summarized by Associate Professor of History David Fisher.
Since Putin came to power around 2000, for the past 20 years, he has wanted to sort of recreate the Russian Empire of old and bring back Russian influence over those different pieces that are populated by people who aren't Russian. And Ukraine has been one of the places that he's been particularly interested in. And he's tried politically to undermine Ukrainians' desire to be a democratic, non-corrupt, free market country with ties to Europe. So he launched the war in Ukraine because political manipulation and kind of sabotage didn't work. So he launched an invasion on false pretenses.
The effects of the war in Ukraine are primarily directly affecting Ukraine, but economist Shi Mao explains the effects of this war outside of Ukraine.
The whole world is being affected. The world is linked. It's not a closed economy. Every country are exporters and importers. These kind of wars will terminate some international business. War could be the last straw. It could make our economy slow down much more than we expected.
Political science professor Nicholas Kiersey answers the million-dollar question about the potential for the U.S. and Russia to collide and for a world war to break out.
U.S. boots on the ground are not a serious option at this stage. They're not seeing Ukraine conflict presently as affecting America's vital national security interests to a point where America would actually have to intervene.
This is Felix Balderas with Vaquero Radio.
Street art is one of the most common things to see in urban areas, but many questions are asked about the highly debated topic. Here is Silvana Villarreal with more on the topic.
Street art has been a very debated topic to discuss, and certain questions have always circled around. What is defined as art? What is street art? Is it illegal? There is beauty, culture, and story behind street art. Every artist makes art with different intentions in mind, whether it is a political statement or simply expressing their feelings to society. Professor Paul Valadez from the Department of Art in UTRGV explains public art from his perspective.
Public art is not just paint upon a wall. It's not just murals. Public art is also sculptures. We can see lots of sculptures to celebrate a community, to create unity, to beautify.
Valadez continues by saying there are two types of street art that can be found, the legal kind and the illegal kind. Street art is only permitted with permission from the estate owner to paint on their property. Artists who make art on properties without permission are called vandals.
It's not a gray area. It is art if it has permission. It is vandalism if it doesn't have permission.
According to Valadez, vandalism can be a form of expression when an individual believes they need to send out a message or they simply feel the need to express themselves.
A lot of vandalism is just that, someone deciding that they do not have a voice or their voice is not being heard or somehow they're being disrespected.
Artists who practice street art have many mediums to reach their audiences, such as sculpting, painting, drawing, and spray painting. But who they are trying to reach will always be open for discussion and entirely up to the artist to decide. Visual communications professor Elizabeth McCormack gives her insight.
So who are they even trying to talk to? Maybe the dialogue is not meant for everyone.
It all comes down to what the community has to say about street art. Do they reject it? Do they encourage it? There are many reasons why a person would choose the outlet of street art. There is not only one motive that inspires these artists, Valadez says.
There's no just one reason why someone or a community decides to surround themselves with art. But mostly it's to inspire, to decorate.
This is Silvana Villarreal with Vaquero Radio.
And McLean goes up and throws down a monster dunk. That fires up the UTRGV field house.
And now time for Vaquero Sports.
The UTRGV held a press conference regarding new facilities for different athletes. For more, here is Amira Garcia.
UTRGV announced the enhancement of athletics facilities for all the sports that will benefit not only the athletes, but the fans and the students last Thursday at the field house. This will be financially possible because of the substantially increased revenue from record season ticket sales, fundraising, and philanthropy of the Rio Grande Valley, according to Vice President and Director of Athletics, Chase Kong.
Today is going to be one of those days. It is going to set us on a different trajectory, put us in a position that we've never been before. As we take this $30 million investment and we get to spread this over our current 16 sports.
With the enhancement of these facilities, athletes from different sports such as golf, tennis, and track will receive locker rooms which they have not had before. This would help their sporting experience as well as future recruitment. Head coach for the baseball team, Derek Matlock, had this to say during the conference.
I want to thank, of course, Guy Bailey and Chase for the balance of all sports, taking care of everybody. You don't see that everywhere. And that's special.
Not only will it impact each one of the athletes that UTRGV currently has, including those that have been promised new facilities, but it is also an advance for the campus community. The future renovations will include a new practice gym for the baseball and volleyball teams. The field house will have a new plaza, atrium, new lobby including a Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor, team store, concession, public restrooms, a new and unique way to watch the games, new ribbon, video boards, and a new seating. UTRGV has already begun upgrades to the UTRGV baseball stadium and plans to build a golf facility next to the driving range at Champion Lakes Golf Course, which is pending of approval. Construction on an operations center for the soccer and track and field programs will begin soon, and the whole project is expected to be finished within the next 3 years. This is Amira Garcia for Vaquero Radio.
And here's Amira Garcia with the sports schedule.
Hello Vaqueros, happy Monday. This is Amira Garcia with the sports for the week. On Monday, we have an all-day men's golf at Bayou City Collegiate in Conroe, Texas. For Tuesday, we have an all-day men's golf at Bayou City Collegiate in Conroe, Texas. And at 6:30, we have a baseball game against Houston in Houston, Texas. On Friday, we have an all-day men's and women's track and field at Cactus Cup in Kingsville, Texas. And at 7 p.m., we have a baseball game against New Mexico State in Las Cruces, Nuevo Mexico. For Saturday, we have at 10 a.m. a men's tennis match against Prairie View A&M in Prairie View, Texas. At 10 a.m., we have a women's tennis match versus Lamar in Edinburgh, Texas. At 1 p.m., we have a women's soccer game versus Texas A&M in Corpus Christi. At 3 p.m., we have a baseball game against New Mexico State in Las Cruces, Nuevo Mexico. And for Sunday, we have at 1 p.m. a baseball game against New Mexico State in Las Cruces, Nuevo Mexico. And that's all for the week, Vaqueros.
And now for this week's events calendar.
Hello, Vaqueros. The Center for Student Involvement will be hosting a Spring Fling Social at 12 p.m. Tuesday at East Dunn Chapel Lawn, where students will be able to socialize, enjoy free games, food, and promo items. The Center for Student Involvement will also host an egg hunt from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday, April 14th on the Edinburgh campus. Easter eggs will be hidden around campus with prizes and instructions on how to claim them. 4 eggs will also have a special prize of $15 in V-Bucks. This egg hunt will also take place in Brownsville from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Thursday. This has been the events of the week. Happy Easter, Vaqueros! Now for this week's campus weather report.
According to the National Weather Service in Brownsville, during the day this week you can expect sunny and breezy weather with temperatures ranging from 87 to 97 degrees Fahrenheit. At night, you can expect temperatures in the low 70 degrees. In Edinburgh, every day will be partly sunny with clouds, and you can expect a hot day on Wednesday with a high temperature of 101 degrees Fahrenheit, and on Friday, a slight chance of thunderstorms during the day. This is Silvana Villarreal with the Weather Report.
And that was today's newscast. Be sure to tune in every Monday at 2 p.m. For now, stay safe. This has been Rodolfo Alvarado. Have a pleasant week, Vaqueros.
This has been Vaquero Radio News.